touches all of us. This question of what after me. This is a question that lingers in the minds of so many parents and caregivers, and I think of every parent today. It's not just a personal worry, it's a societal question, one that asks us to think about how we can create a world where neurodiverse adults live with dignity, agency, and above all, joy. So today, we are here to explore how can we address this question, not just as individuals, but as a community. This is a journey of shared learning, and I hope that we are able to listen, reflect in the next hour, and act together with some meaningful solutions. So that's the overall broad context of what you can expect. Before I get there, I think it's also important for us to recognize that what we are pitching today as a solution or as a program, Uhuru, is a very small part of today's conversation. I'm hoping this is just going to open bigger conversations for us back in our organizations, back at our homes to see how do we do this together. No story of Snehadara is complete without the Snehadara story. And many of you who have been parents, who are parents of an whose child is with us through our program, some of you have been with us before Snehadara even began, and you continue to be there. But yes, the story for me each time is a new story when I say it. Snehadara birthed with the need to offer equitable learning, inclusive spaces for children with special needs. It is set up after Sneha, the first child whom I directly worked with. And today, 12, 13 years into this journey, we are sitting at a space where Sneha paved the way of leaving behind a legacy for us, where we've worked with over 10,000 children across all our programs, trained practitioners. It started in a very modest independent home, a 3 BHK home in Jitinagar. Many of you have been a part of that journey. I think the most precious beginnings were in 2012 when neither of us knew what we were set out to do. And when I would be asked at that time, what is it that you actually do? I would say, actually, I don't know what we do because I fear the day I know it, I may stop the doing. And that has been the ethos of how every program in Snehadara has birthed, one leading to the other. So, what we sit today, after 13 years of running the organization as programs and innovation, each has been a program that is birthed by the need or the direction given to us by a child or a parent who has been with us. So, over the years, as we pioneered arts practices and art based interventions, we also built small steps towards what does a semi residential program look like. It began with our overnighters. Some of you present in this call were here even before Snehadara started. So I think our first overnighter dates itself back to, I think, um, even before, I think 2009. And from there grew various other programs. Sathi, a buddy model program. We had our summer camps where we started involving the siblings of the children. We moved from overnighters to small camps and home visits where we would have parents host the children and a small group of children. Classroom without walls. I think each one of these were little crucibles to check what do we really need when we talk about assisted living. And I think to many parents who have were here on this call and we have spoken, if you remember, my first response to you when you say we want to set up something for our children for the future, I would say it should have been yesterday. And I continue to say that it should have been yesterday because this is something that collectively all of us are here to build. So from these overnighters, we went on to procure space. Our land on which Snehadhara's Nelamangala campus in Bangalore is built today, a beautiful campus, is donated to us by our joint managing trustee Sumati. And in all generosity, along with giving the organization its name, Sumati gave us a land and said, do in this what we think we can best do for every child and every adult. So that campus today is the step or the transformative first step for us to try out a semi-residential model. Year of COVID 2020, we began with a Monday, Tuesday on campus program, moved on to making it a 4-day program. And as the program functions today, we have adults who live there from Monday to Thursday in a semi residential setup. The reason this is important for you is this has been the background research. This has been the background embodied experiment for us on where we stand today at the threshold of this 26-day program. Now, the intent of this program, the in why this program, like how did we think about it? What is the intent? The intent of this program is fourfold. One, we felt it's important to address parental concerns. This journey with Snehadhara and the children have also meant the passing on of a few of our children, the loss of two of our parents, and we realized that at each of these stages, it was a call for not action, but it was a call to say we have to start looking at solutions differently. So, one of the main pillars of this program for us is addressing parental concerns. As a parent myself, and I'm sure many of you would agree, we would have tried the best solutions that work for our children. And I say this to every parent. What you tried for your child when you tried it was the best solution for that time. But we always wrestle with this question. Am I as a parent, am I irreplaceable? Will anybody understand my child as well as I do? Now, this is a very protective instinct as a parent, and all of us have this. But we do not realize, or little do we realize, that this actually comes in the way of making them independent. The need to protect and provide for an adult, for a child with neurodiverse needs, continues into adulthood as well. So it becomes important for us to open this question. While it may seem practical for parents, I've heard many parents say, until we're there, let's just do this. Let's help the child or the adult in managing their daily needs. But somehow I feel, let's do this together. Let's do this differently. Let's look at a way in which we buddy the child in doing this for themselves. So, this is one of the intents of the program. The other is balancing support and independence. Fostering independence in neurodiverse adults actually requires parents to step back. So, to the 99 of you who have joined the call, I'm just reading the numbers. This is actually an invitation to say, take a step back, even if it feels counterintuitive. The time to do it is now because we really need to see how do we equip or what we need the data today to know what do our children or adults need. Now this process of stepping back is really tough. It involves offering the right amount of challenge that we want to give and ensuring that there is support. This journey demands us to do, I keep saying this, fierce compassion. It's like saying, I want to make the child independent, but I'm holding the hand of the child and saying, run, or the child or the adult. How does that happen? An analogy that comes to my mind is here for you, dear parents. It's like teaching your child to ride a bicycle. You have to let go of the seat at some point. Sure, they will wobble. They may even crash into a bush. You can't run behind them forever shouting, break, break. Self resilience starts actually with a few scraped knees and courage to let them figure this bit out. In my own experience, we have actually undermined the potential of our children because we have been able to give them opportunities of learning based on what we think they can learn, but we need to expand that buffet a little bit. The third intent of this program is a universal need. For most of us who are parents, for neurodiverse individuals, adulthood often brings uncertainties and fears. Families are in search for the best solution. I wonder if there is something called a best solution at all. Is there one at all? While no one size fits all model exists, the importance is of creating frameworks which allow us to meet the individual needs of each child. And the fourth and the most important pillar of this program is assisted living must be taught as a skill. I can't overemphasize this. Like we have taught other skills, be it vocational training, be it pre employability, be it computer training skills, be it speech, assisted living needs to be taught as a skill. It's not about providing care, it's about independence training. Now, for parents, this journey is extremely crucial. I see the way we see the program. We need to collect valuable data on what the child needs when we are no longer around. This is not about replacing a parent's role in the child's life, but empowering the child or adult to navigate their life confidently by addressing this question, what happens after me, while parents are still present. Do you know what is it that your child needs? Yes, you know, but that ecosystem of your child has you today. If the child is left in an environment where you are removed from that system, that is the data that we want. How many people are required for caregiving? How does my child communicate to people who are unfamiliar in the learning environment of the child? We're looking at building that ecosystem. Now, all of you, I think, who wrote in, some of you who saw these posters are very keen on knowing what is this Uhuru program all about to begin with. What is this program? What happens in these 26 days? And just to ensure, because you have to endure me for the next 1.5 hours, I'm going to tell you a little bit about this word Uhuru itself. It's a beautiful word. The word Uhuru in Swahili means freedom or liberation, and it carries profound significance. Now, historically, if you go back, this Uhuru symbolizes political and social liberation of nations from colonial rule, especially Africa. Most notably, Africa independence movement. You would have seen a lot of this word Uhuru, even during Kenya's struggle for freedom against the British rule. But beyond all of these politics, Uhuru resonates deeply with personal freedom. It represents autonomy, empowerment, and the ability to make choices without external constraints. And on a very the spiritual dimension of this word, it talks about liberation from fear, guilt, and societal expectations. So while the name seems to be very apt, I felt it's important to share this. Uhuru in itself, the word emphasizes community and unity, a collective expression for us to imagine a world free of oppression and inequality. So our program gets its name from this essence of Uhuru. Now, what is Uhuru? It's a 4-week residential program that is designed to train neurodiverse adults for assisted living. The program provides participants with a nurturing and a non institutional environment to build these essential life skills, to forge social connections, and experience community living. I'm going to keep coming back to each one of this. I'm also quite aware that coming to the crux of what it means and what it means for my child is a very important part for many of you who are here. But bear with me, we'll get there very, very soon. Let's understand what this is all about first. Now, at Uhuru, when I say participants here, I mean young adults, 15 years and plus. There is no upper limit on the age. The goal is to take meaningful steps towards independence. So, the program basically emphasizes adaptive skills, what we commonly call life skills or functional skills, to navigate through various environments. So the way we see this environment is one is this feels less like an institution. It's more like a home environment, a space where they learn, grow, thrive, learn to be together for these 4 weeks. Now, three pillars form the structure of this program. One, independence training. Second, community living. And third, which is experiential learning. There's no particular order here. When we mean independence training, we're talking about developing essential life skills that are required: personal hygiene, household management, meal preparation. When we talk about community living, they're looking at how do they build meaningful relationships and the interdependence in an environment like this. And when we talk of experiential learning, we are looking at introducing them to real life activities like gardening, cooking, social outings, having people come, engaging with people, moving out of the campus to visit other spaces, but together as a group or a cohort. Week by week, there is a progression in which how this program moves. The reason we set 26 days and 4 weeks comes from the space of each week. So these 26 days is a program starting on a Monday and ending on a Friday. Each week looks at something different. The first week could be even simple things like building a consistent daily routine, waking up with an alarm, managing personal space, learning just basic meal preparations, engaging in group bonding activities, making themselves understood in their own way, verbal or non-verbal. Week two is a step up where we are saying, let's look at developing essential self care routines. It could be personal hygiene, it could be laundry, it could be meal planning, it could be medication management. Maybe we look at alarms in a way that the adult knows it's time for my medication. Week three, when we are a little comfortable in handling ourselves, we believe they're right to start looking at community living, where we look at doing things together as a group, going out together, the real world interaction, bringing people onto campus. And week four is largely the world application of this, hosting a meal, navigating public transport, engaging in other skill based workshops. Now, this is not in any particular order that you finish week one, then you go to week two and week three. This is just the overall design. They're hoping that these 4 weeks work as a data collection tool for us. So we're able to tell the parents at the end of 4 weeks, where is the adult slash young adult in this matrix? What are some of the things that they could manage? What are some of the things they don't, and possibly how can one look at it? So the whole purpose of this 26 day is, fair to say in therapy language, also for us to collect the data, diagnostic, as well as to start implementing the interventions, to be able to train and teach them in these things. For many of you listening to me right now may feel my child is far away from this. I don't know what she's talking, because I don't think my child can do any of this. I challenge each one of you who are thinking that way today. I'm hoping that you believe me when I say we can get them to do this, and we are going to do this together. We have a lot of our parents who are a part of the program, some of the parents who would speak at the end of the program, for you to know what has this journey been. And I think for us, the last 4 years on campus has actually meant the semi-residential program today. If you've seen some of the videos, a video we're just going to show you as I pause a bit right now on what has this shift mean for some of the adults who are on campus? For an adult who would not want to do anything that is out of his or her comfort zone today, the space is being managed with minimal assistance by them, be it loading the washing machine, be it washing the clothes, be it listening to instructions to say we have to upkeep this place together. A dream for Snehadara was this will be a space that will be run by the adults. And I think this for me is very important. And anybody who's working in the development sector, many organizations are here today. In this case, there's no question of attrition, because our human infrastructure is not the people we hire, but the human infrastructure are the adults who are going through this training program. So with them is how this program is going to be run. Before going on any further, taking a little pause, hold on to all your questions. I'm going to request Yashashwini to show you a little glimpse of what this looks like, or a little bit of how these three things look operational, by sharing something that was shot on campus with the adults who are a part of the semi-residential program now. Yash, can we have the AV? Okay, this was just a little glimpse of what this program uh, aspires to look like. And I think before we go on to questions or something else with this, it's also important for us to understand as a group today why this needs to be done. Why do we need a program like this? Is training in assisted living important at all? This program recognizes the absence of sustainable services today in training neurodiverse adults in assisted living. We're hoping by equipping participants with these adaptive skills, we would be able to look at how we could strengthen them to manage their own needs. Now, some of the key features, which I think I've already spoken about, is this program fosters a homely environment rather than a clinical setting. So it's not an institutional setup. Our cohort sizes are as little as 10, and it will be as small as only 10 adults in every cohort. Incremental growth. Participants are supported through gradual steps towards independence, ensuring that there is a balance of both challenge as well as support. And the third feature is opportunities to interact and engage within communities. Because you can't talk of inclusion keeping the society and the societal inputs away from this. So the ask here is, of course, some of them may crack all of these things in a 26-day program at their own pace. But we would like to see this being universally seen. So the parent and the program, organizations and the program both need to work together. This is a collaborative journey that we will make with parents, organizations, communities as co travelers. The reason it's important to say this is there is no threat to any existing model. Your child or adult would be thriving very well today in an institution that is taking care of their vocational needs, taking care of maybe their, preparing them with their therapeutic needs. Our aim is to complement that support system. We believe that after going through a 26-day program and training like this, and I say this out of our own lived experience that we've had with our adults on campus, when they have been able to manage some of these things independently, we've seen that their therapeutic goals itself can be pitched at 2, 3 notches higher than what we have been this far. The other thing is again avoiding uprooting the adults. So we are not looking at the adults being removed from their familiar environment at all. In fact, the invitation is there are going to be 9 cohorts through the year. You have the adult participate in one cohort to begin with, where data is gathered, which we hand over to families and caregivers to identify what are the potential pathways for further growth. So, the cohort that your adult is going to be a part of is just a springboard for broader goals, providing us more actionable insights on what can we do together. And we're thinking about this not as a program, but sustaining an idea, sustaining a solution, where each cohort of neurodiverse adults represents an opportunity, not just for us to serve, but to innovate together. We also mean, when I say sustainable here, it doesn't necessarily mean financial viability. It means creating frameworks where we know that this is how the adult has navigated in a system like this. How can this be replicated? How can we build on this together? This is going to require a paradigm shift for all of us to come together. We are hoping organizations look at integrated budgets for this. We're hoping that there is therapeutic support that is available and programs are prioritizing on emotional well being within services that are available today. And of course, corporate partnerships to play a very important role in rolling out a program like this. I have been lately contacted by several corporates to say, how do we look at DE&I and how do we look at supporting a neurodiverse adult in a corporate? And I feel like if an entire group you're working a neurodiverse adult is working in a corporation today and the group is going out say for an outing or a 4 day outing or an outbound, we need to give them that data that this neurodiverse adult can manage themselves with the rest of the group. So there is something in this for everyone. Parents and communities are partners in this quest. This journey is deeply personal for many of us, and we need to ask ourselves this together. Are we building a system that allows families to dream beyond their survival? Are we offering a future to our neurodiverse adults where they're not just dependents but as contributors to the society? And our answer lies here as a collective and how we choose to act today. So, this being the broader essence and ethos of the program, now the logistics part of what is all this about? How do we imagine this program? So, how do you join Uhuru? How can you become a part of this program? This program, now these are very operational, but it'll be important for all of us to know. This program is open to neurodiverse individuals aged 15 years and plus who are looking to develop life skills and transition towards semi independent living. For the children and adults who've been a part of us for many years now, semi residential or residential programs are not very unimaginable because they have done it. But here we are hoping that through this program, this may be the first step for many who have never done this. The process, how do we go about this? We invite the parent and the child slash adult to come and stay on campus first for one night to understand what this program is all about. Once you've done that, and if you feel that all right, because this itself is the first step, you need to come, you need to be on campus, you need to see the working model of what we're talking about today. Then we invite the parent to come for the 4 day program. Starting now until April, you choose a timeline where you can come and be a part of the Monday to Thursday program. This is an opportunity for you to know us better, an opportunity for us to understand the adult better. When you're on campus, of course, parents would not necessarily have to be where the child is. You could, there is something special that's planned for the parents, and the adult is with us, but you're within that ecosystem. After that, you could choose how do you want to go about it and which cohort would you like to be a part of. So nobody directly jumps into a cohort admission for us of 26 days without going through either our 4 day or that one overnighter that we are going to be doing. So that's like just for you to plan because we have been having campus visits that are happening right now. and there are people who are coming in from out of Bangalore. So this is just to give the broader idea on how best we can work. We're also open to the idea, we're just in January, that should you feel you want the child or the adult to do a 1 month program first before you sign up for any cohort, we can always look at a Monday to Thursday and do 2, 3 sets of that with the adult and then look at how you enroll for the program. If there is a caregiver who's taking care of the adult, then we could look at a way in which the caregiver is undergoing a training program with us when the adult is a part of the cohort. And how do you apply? If you're interested in this, then you go to our website and write in to us, and we'll have somebody from the team reach out to you. I think an important question that's also going to be on the top of everybody's mind is who runs the show? Who are the people behind it? Are the people behind it trained? What is the team? Uhuru is supported by a team of dedicated facilitators. And for this program, we're looking at residential care specialists who could be art practitioners, who could be people who have run this program with us, program coordinators, trained volunteers, healthcare professionals. There is a doctor on call who and a doctor available for us who would also go through this process with every child and family before you register for the program and support staff. All of these are trained in daily routines, skill building, and have been working with semi residential setups with us. There would otherwise also be experts who come in to facilitate certain skill based workshops based on the need of the cohort. So, that would largely be the team that would be running this program. Now, when you filled the form to enter into this webinar, there were a series of questions. There were over 55, 60 questions that you wanted answered in the webinar. What I have done before I open it up to parent sharing is one is to just answer some of your questions, which are broad questions. I've been able to put them together under broad categories so that if you have, and when we open the floor for questions, we're looking at not repeating some of these things. And I'm hoping some of your basic concerns are addressed. The main questions that came were program details. What is the actual objective of this 26-day program? Is it an initial step for creating a permanent residential school? This program is designed as a preparatory training towards independent living. It is not a permanent residential model, but it equips participants with foundation skills on assisted living. Put simplistically, what does it mean? We're hoping that going through this training with either one cohort or two cohort, between two cohorts, there is a gap of about 2 weeks. Uh, we're hoping that this equips the adult enough to start thinking about being a part of any other assisted living or any other setup that a parent or group of parents want to come together with. What are the skills you'll be working on? Can you specify some examples? We will be working on self care, communication, adaptive skills, social interaction, personal hygiene, navigating public spaces, all of this keeping in mind independence training. Entire day schedule, how does the day look? The day is balanced with routines that include skill training, group activities, reflection time, cooking together. I think I've answered that. Is the program online or offline? Where is it held? The program is offline, held in the Snehdara campus at Nelamangala. Are there non-residential activities for the children if you're not able to join the residential model? On a case-on-case basis, for some, like for the children who have adults who've been with us for 4 years, this is their automatic next step from 4 days to go on to 26 days. There are some who are directly joining the 26-day program. So yes, they made non-residential activities. We have not been very encouraging of it, but far and few. We've had children who stay close by or who are able to do the commute to the transport, come and spend the whole day and leave in the evening. So that is a provision that can be made. Another big bucket that came of questions was parental involvement and concern. Is it mandatory for parents to stay during the program? No. Parents don't need to stay if the as a part of the program. However, there would be times in which we would create interaction time. There could be a week in which we're allowing parents to come and say, support the kitchen, we could look at a way in which parents are getting to come within those 26 days. We would also look at fixed timings. I think on weekends, the team is still designing it on Saturday and Sunday, where we could look at a video call with the child or the adult. But yes, the idea is to remove the parent from the system. Can the parents live close by and meet the participants regularly? I think I've answered this. In a certain cases, of course, if there is on case special request, we will decide how we can take that forward. What after us? How will the program help secure my child's future? Today, none of us have data on how your child is going to manage in your absence. This program is going to help all of us gather that data. How will parents receive updates on the child's progress? There is a Google Sheet that we follow for every child where general updates on how the child has been doing through the day will be logged in like an SMO for you to address your concerns. Safety and accessibility. What safety measures are in place, especially for women? The program ensures a safe environment where the staff is trained. There are regular first aid and safety drills that we will be conducting for the team. And men and women are kept separately on two different floors. So that is a part of the program now itself, and we intend to continue it that way. Is it accessible for individuals with physical disability? Yes, it is accessible for wheelchair users and with support and mobility specific needs. As there is a specifically designed bath and a toilet area for someone who's on a wheelchair as well. All the bathrooms are designed in a way that we would be able to assist the adult who needs this. Are there any facilities available in other locations like Chennai, Delhi, NCR? At the moment, no. Yes, there could be facilities. If you choose to collaborate and set up one like this, we'll be very happy to help you set this up there. How do you teach ADL? The other big bucket was independent living and skill training. How do you teach activities of daily living? Through repetitive reinforcement, hands on practice. Participants learn tasks like grooming, cooking, cleaning in a very repetitive, staggered, progressive fashion. And within each of this, each sub program within the day will keep addressing this to ensure that consistent progress is made. What is the plan after the 26-day program? The program is designed as a training module to prepare participants for independent living. So, post the program, families will be provided with transition plans to say what are the skills that one needs to build, where are we with this, would you like to repeat a cohort, to understand the long term plans for assisted living. And of course, within our understanding of people who are running assisted living spaces, we would be very happy to provide a trained in this, and what the adult is able to do for you so that it becomes easier for the adult. How do you prepare participants for independent living? Again, like I said, this is not vocational training. The vocation or the skill here is independent living. So, for many who have asked, is there a vocational training? No, we're not training you in vocational training. We are training you in independence training itself. The skill is that. How do you equip them to handle unknown? I think the nature of the work that we do, our methodology of working has been through art based interventions. So the sessions are designed through play, music, theater, drama, role play, visual art forms, which allow us to also prepare and also check the emotional resilience and well being of the adult. Future plans and legal aspects. How can families financially plan for assisted living? Now, the important part about this is when your child or adult is inducted for this program in any of the cohorts, and when we reach that stage, there is a little bit of a transaction that happens. When the adult starts coming into any of the cohort, the parent is supposed to provide us with your 26-day plan in the absence of the adult. Like I said, this is a collaborative journey. So we also want to ensure that parents are either as a community of parents in that cohort or individually giving us a plan on what do you intend to do for those 26 days, because for many of us, I think most of us, we haven't imagined 26 days of our adult without us. So it's also important for me to see, do you have travel plans? Are you out on a holiday? I hope you're doing all of those. I think the idea is also that. That's why I said it is collaborative. And when I say partner, parents are partners in this crime, I think this is how your partnership, I mean, this is how you're going to contribute to this partnership. What we will do through this program is in the between, I think, as the 26-day cohort, we're still to get the specifics ready. But I think between every 12 days, there is going to be a parent session that happens online where we come together as a parent community. We bring in all our fears. And I think all of that becomes a very important part of us holding each other through this process. Because this is as unknown to you as it's going to be to us, but we're very excited because we know what the outcome would mean at the end of a program like this. So there will be dedicated parent online sessions. And of course, at the end of it, we will tell you this is how it's been and how do you want to plan from here on. So if you've never left your child anywhere, start making those plans because the adult has been able to manage themselves. Are there any legal aspects or ground rules for assisted living collectives? The program, I would be very happy to share with you what all happened when we put this program together. And this is coming in more questions from many people who have joined today's webinar, who are themselves set out to set up assisted living spaces. So I would be more than happy to share with you learnings in designing Uhuru and what all did it take for us and what are all the areas that you have to cover. And there are some SOPs which are already ready, and I keep saying everybody has a right to copy. There's no copywriting here because we're all going to make versions of this ourselves. And every version is a version that is a useful version. The other question that came is my child is very hyperactive, has anxiety and behavior issues. Will there be individualized support? The adult is nonverbal. There has never been a denial of admission from our side at Snehadara because of the child's behavior needs or because of how the child has been. We look at this as an equal partnership between you and I. Between when I say you and I, you all and us, and I'm hoping through this program this othering becomes much, much lesser. But yes, we have had situations of children who have had behavioral issues. There have been instances of self harm and harming other children, but trust me, they figure out a way to navigate through this and they do find a way to regulate through this. Your fears are very real. Sometimes these are also manifestations that we ourselves are seeing. But we are hoping that with honesty and when we get into this relationship together, we would be able to have a comfortable environment where we can talk to you about this is what is happening, this is the trigger. So today, whatever are triggers that a parent tells me about a child at home, see, none of those triggers may be true here because here the environment is different. So you should also give yourself a little bit of slack in saying, for all you know, these triggers may never show up in an environment which is another system of learning for the adult or the child. Then, of course, you'd asked us details about the program. What are some of the specific things that we do? I think most of these questions have been answered. Safety was one. And then general information. Is there a selection criteria? No, there is no selection criteria for this program. How can I learn more about this? We will share our website link. What roles do organizations play? All organizations are together in this, according to me. We all play a role to say, how do we do this? And I feel for many organizational heads who are here, nominating people who may benefit from this program for one cohort and coming back to us to say what has happened post that one cohort for the adult is where you would play a very important role because trust me, we cannot do this together. We cannot do this alone. We need to do this together. And I think organizations play a very, very big role in actually seeding and birthing this program together with us. So I think I've answered some of your questions. There are some questions in the chat. I'm going to wait for those questions to come to me and I answer. I cannot multitask. I'm going to request some of you now, not some of you, to please turn on your videos if you can. And I think we have Bharat, I'm not sure about Manish, Ram, some of our parents here. It would be nice to hear some of you um, come in from how this has been for you. I think it would give a greater perspective to parents. So if you're here, because it's too much for me to see in this, it would be nice if uh, one of you could come in. Bharat, are you here? Ram, I know, is here.
Yeah, Gitu, I'm there.
Yeah. So Bharat is a parent whose child Kabir has been with us even before Sneha Bharat. And these are parents who have, I think, I'm only going to give Bharat's introduction. These are parents who really made it difficult for me. They would have 20 to 30 questions every week. But thanks to parents like this, we are where we are today. So, Bharat, thank you, and over to you.
Yeah, thanks, Gitu. So yeah, so like it was when so one of the things that you remember, right? This has been always as a parent. This was always something that we had requested or we had asked you, and at that point of time, I think the discussions for us because our kids were small, so it was like there's something that you would wanted to do, but at that point of time, the focus was primarily from a child perspective, right? And come these 15 years of our togetherness, those same child have become the adults. And good to know that, you are in this journey where you are actually defining another model for us, where how the adults can actually take their life forward. So I think pretty excited in terms of what you mentioned and what you said. I think we as parents have a lot of concerns and apprehensions, but knowing that you are actually starting this or Snedara is starting it, hopefully our fears and apprehensions will actually die over over the period. But yeah, and I think from a Kabir perspective, he was as a small kid joined Snehadhara and some of the programs that you talked about, right? Be it a buddy program, overnighters, and all. I still remember that whenever you try to start something new, we as parents were always opposed in the sense of it's not going to happen. And not only for the child, but they kind of are connected together. I think some of us as parents also got connected together. And I think we as a parents, at least that group, is there for lifetime. We have been able to actually kind of work together as one community, right? And I think there have been instances where a child has, when we had some things, our child could actually go and stay with other parents, etc. And I think some of those, you can say, intangible benefits that we got has actually made us less fearful and our own capabilities have actually come out in the front where uh, we ourselves as parents who were like in this no and negative thing, I think we also feel that there are things that we can do together. And I think as an individual, things are challenging, but when people come together, I think we can actually create much more successes. Seen that, and yes, looking forward to it. I think this is new and challenging. I think again, some of the questions probably 26 days, etc. How the kid will be, what happens to their schedule, and all. I think those questions hopefully either you'll answer now or as when we get into this journey we'll get those things cleared. But yeah, I think looking forward to it. And yeah it, again, starting as an apprehensive parent, but hopefully those will actually get settled down. I'm pretty confident on that one. So thanks Geeta. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Bharat. Ram, would you like to come in from a parent's perspective and a long-standing parent? We also have Ram, who's absolutely dashing adult. Karthik is with us. And yes, over to you, Ram.
Yeah, thank you, Gitu. So Lakshmi and I are parents to Karthik. Karthik is. I always stop myself when I before I tell you how old he is because I have to calculate it based on how old my younger son is. So Karthik is 45. He has been part of Snehadara for the past, oh God, a long time, 6 years, I think. And most importantly, he's been part of the semi-residential direct care program, as they call it, in the Nelamangala campus for the last 4 years. So of late, he's been going through the Monday through Thursday program. So for us, quite honestly, like unlike most other parents on this call, uh, the decision to sign Karthik up for the Uhuru cohort was a very natural progression of what he's already been through, and so it was an easy one. So we feel we recognize that what matters most here is a sense of mutual trust between the organization and us as parents. And that was something that has been built up over the years, and we feel extremely comfortable, not only from our perspective but also from the perspective of our son. While he's largely nonverbal, he makes his he expresses his thoughts and feelings very clearly when he's asked, and when he's given a choice, he's able to indicate what it is that he would like to do. So that's been a large part of it. We also think that it's very essential to have this training in terms of, as Geetu mentioned, in terms of independent living. It's not something that's, just a given. You actually have to train for it. And, that has been something that we've worked on at home. But I feel that working for Karthik to work with professionals who are to some extent, don't have the same level of attachment that parents generally tend to do, it helps actually in the training. And so that's another positive. Um, Normally, not as tongue-tied as I am today, as Geeta will tell you, but it's also an emotional moment. We have a very close-knit family, as I'm sure most of you do, if not all of you. And what we have done is we have actually socialized this idea of Uhuru with all those in Karthik's life who are very vested in him and his life. And we have just gotten uniformly great feedback, a lot of curiosity about what the details of the program are. And so in answering those, we've also helped answer our own questions. We did have questions for her team, Geetu and her team. It was not as if, we just said, fine, he's been going to you for 4 years, so here you have him for longer. But we did have questions, all of which were very patiently answered. And that's one thing I would just commend the organization on, is the absolute, uh, you know, uh, professionalism with which they approach this entire thing. The SOPs during COVID was case in point. I always talk about it to all my friends. It was most thoughtful, and it was a masterclass in how you define, the processes. And so I think once you get the process right, the rest of it is there. There's a lot of heart in this program, I must tell you, that each one of the facilitators we have interacted with, the support staff, for instance, are just amazing. They've all stayed with Geetu. I mean, there's been the usual turnover. She's had her challenges in that regard, but never to the extent that it starts telling on the parents. But wherever the parents needed to step in, we have done so. So as she said, it's a collaborative effort. So feel free to all the other parents, I would say, no question is a silly question. You're talking about your children after all. So do address them, please. And you will find that the responses will be prompt. The responses will be very professional. And nowhere is it said, they never say it's my way or the highway. So it's always a collaborative effort. So we've just signed up Kartu for the next, couple of three or four cohorts, however long they'll have him, and we're excited. So good luck. Good luck to Sam.
Thank you, Ram. I'm going to keep this on recording. We don't say no way or the highway. There have been parent meetings where we've been told, no,
I
no,
was
you'll
about to,
have to. Yeah, no,
Well,
I
what is
was
this?
about to contradict Ram on that.
well,
Yeah,
well,
they always get to hear this saying, sorry, you can't have it your way. Tell me whether I have to address your special needs or the needs of your child. So there have been several times where I say the need of the adult is far greater than the need of the parent. So we have a love-hate relationship. I'm just glad they're saying it. I'll
No,
take you
no,
all
no.
back on this one.
Bharat, I got the memo, so I was just.
All right, now
Good, good.
just a couple of questions before we open it up. We do have questions that have come in from some of you in the chat window. Ashwin Gowda, can you please let me know if language proficiency English is required? No, our facilitators and teams speak English, Kannada, Telugu, Malayalam, Hindi for the moment, and English. So yes, if the child English is not your primary language at home or mother tongue, it's absolutely okay. Aruna, is it vegetarian food or non-vegetarian? It's a vegetarian campus, as in not a vegetarian campus. Food served on campus is vegetarian. Um, how are safety measures about the program? Safety is our priority, emotional, physical, and psychological safety. So we've ensured to the best of our abilities that all corners with regard to safety are taken care of. My son is on oral medicines and injection once a month. Will this be given? Kamish Rao. Yes, there is a very clear administration of medicines protocol, which is followed. There's a checklist that would be put. Oral medications are given by us. Given that this is a 26-day program, that once in a month injection, I think we will have to try and make sure that that is given by you before the adult joins the program. But it is possible. Food allergies is a restrictive diets option. Yes, please. We have been looking at what best is the diet that works for the child in case there are food allergies. But if you tell me that no, my child likes to eat only milky mist curd and he has never eaten any other curd, I challenge you on that one. Because I think we've seen this with several children in the way they have actually adapted to the program. So we will be factoring in when it comes to food allergies. Just for some of you, when we say 26 days, it is 26 days continuous program. So there is no weekend or anything. For 26 days, the adult is with us. As an organization, can we come and see the campus? Yes, Jayashree, you are most welcome to come and see the campus. I think questions which have come in the chat have been answered. I'm opening the floor for parents to unmute yourself and speak. Also, come on video and show us your beautiful presence. We have about another 10 minutes to take on any questions that you have. All details regarding how to register and all of that will be shared. No question is a silly question, but the only ask is in the interest of time, please ask a different set of questions than what was asked. Every day of the 26-day program is put together, and we are designing the day based on a certain template that we have with sessions that take care of independence training, community living, as well as looking at experiential learning for the program. The cost of the program is something that everyone has been asking as well. This our existing program where we run our semi-residential setup program. The adult student ratio in a program like this is almost 1:1. So this 26-day program is priced at 55,000 rupees for the 26 days, which involves everything included in the program, all the travel, the stay, their intervention programs, as well as the reports that come with it. And there's no other added cost. But there is, of course, an option of looking at a wavered way of paying. The philosophy of Snehadhara has always been that fees is never a criteria. There is enough money in the world. We run as an organization, we run as a community that subsidizes each other's costs. Parents who have you heard today have also been parents who have gone out of the way and made sure that they mobilized resources for us to make sure that this reaches every child. So, should there be a situation where we feel that some sponsorship is required for a particular child, there is a clear process where we go through sharing the scholarship program with you. We look at what is it that you can um, support the child with and bring it back to the community to see how this can be raised. But from a very sustainable point of view, for many of you, you're already organizations here. 10 is a very small number. So Snehadara has never been in the number game to say we need 100 children, 25 children, 26 children. No. Our full house today of capacity in the campus is actually 24 adults can live on campus. But we've always kept our adult student ratios very high, and we don't intend taking more than 10 children or adults in any cohort. The idea for this is only to be able to make sure that we are journeying with the adult, and hence we also do hit the challenge of, is this a sustainable program at all? But again, given the goodwill of the board and the funding philosophy of the organization, this is the format with which we will be working. Yes, now I think we can leave it open to some of you who might want to unmute. It'd be nice to listen to other voices as well. And if there are any questions I haven't answered, hi Tiru, I'm seeing you after so long. Okay.
So in a cohort,
Hello.
is a selection process, what are the constituent of a cohort? Are they similarly equipped individuals, or is it diverse there also?
No, it is diverse. See, because we've also felt for an adult who is non-verbal, it will be important to have adults who are verbal. So I'm not making that segregation based on age or anything. Age and ability has never been a criteria for us to bring our cohorts together. So it's clearly to answer your question, the most immediate answer to that is the cohort is based on your ability on which cohort, which month works the best for you, and how does it practically work for you. Otherwise the constitution is not, we're not selecting people based on, okay, this cohort is open for this set of children. I think it's counterintuitive to the whole process where we say they will learn to adapt with each other. How many adults you plan to take in a cohort? 10. There will not be more than 10 in any cohort. Cohort and dates, Priya, we do have the cohorts and the dates up on the website as well. The link will be shared with you, and please have a look at that cohort. These are the dates starting April. Yes, what is the first one? April? 14th. April 14th to 9th of May. Now, this will be continuous all days from starting April 14th to 9th of May. The parent would come in the beginning and at the end. And if there is something where we are doing exclusively for parents through the cohort. Yes, keep the questions going.
So
And then, sure.
the significance of a cohort just means that it's a group, right? There is
Yes.
no additional significance to that.
No, there could be where you say that no, this has really worked. There are certain goals we thought the adult never met. I want to do one more cohort, in which case we'll sit with you and say maybe then bring them in this cohort or repeat it. Like some of the adults who are a part of our 4-day program today are going to be a part of all our cohorts.
Yeah.
Because at the end of it, we are hoping that we're able to tell you that they're well prepared for assisted living. I think to answer this question today, if I feel like there are some parents where the adult already is with a caregiver, the adult has somebody taking care of, but the question comes from, what if that caregiver leaves the job and goes? Then what happens? So we want to give you a certain set of things that may work for this adult, immaterial of who's a part of that ecosystem.
Ma'am,
Yeah.
is it a dormitory, this one, or a single room? How?
It is a single room with 4 people sharing a room, but the rooms are designed again, when you get the link and you go to the website, the rooms are designed very comfortably for 4 adults to stay. There's a little cubby for each adult, and then there is a nice open space. Now, if you're looking at a cohort of 10, then they might just get split into rooms with 2 people in each room. That is based on how the group actually comes together. There's no bunk and all that. It's a single room. Will it be a straight 26-day program, or we can do the first 4-day program? Of course, you can do the first 4-day program, Rajeshwari. And in this case, we will encourage that do the first 4-day program a little bit and then pick it up. But again, my own experience is that 4-day program is not indicative of really anything for the adult. So oftentimes what happens is, no, these 4 days, they were very unsettled. I don't think this is right. I would only tell you, trust our experience, trust the way in which we're telling you this, that this can be worked through. And we are with that journey, whether. So if you ask all our parents who've been a part of it, most of these parents wanted to spend the first 2, 3 nights with the child in campus. I don't think any parent has stayed. So they have met us, we've gone through this, and the adult has actually accepted it. In fact, I would go through separation anxieties that the parents would have when the bus would leave. So initially it would be, oh, our children are leaving us and going for 4 days. And then it is, yes, they're going away for 4 days. So I think we should make that journey together.
Ma'am, there are a few more questions in the
Yes, yes, kids with borderline difficulties will find it comfortable. Yes, they will, because see, the team that is working also is a young team. So I think in many cases where we feel that children are quite functional, there's language skills, but all that we want to do is test it. Lot of us as team members become their buddies. So I don't think that should be a program. Is the 4-day program charged? Yes, of course, it is charged. You said that a parent and an adult can stay for the night. Then the next step, is it going to be so? If you're from outstation, Vinay, then we would try and make the best of your stay. But if you're in Bangalore, we'll say maybe you don't want to do the one night, you directly do the 2 night or you do the 4 night program. It's not going to be a continuous 5 day stay. It'll get split into 2 weeks. If you're ready to say, I want to jump into the 4 day program directly, then you don't have to do the 1 day at all. This is also provision for people who are coming from other states. What is the ratio of children to supporting adults? Almost 1:1.5. Even now, for the adults who are there on campus, the number of adults, sometimes the adults outnumber the support outnumbers the children who are on campus, but it would always be like that because I think we want them to get. So if there is an adult and there are, say, if there is a child slash a participant and there are the team of 4 5 people, we also want it to be that they're not dependent on only one caregiver. So that rotation is also a part of the work that we have done. When the young adult is trying for the first time, will the first few difficult days be? Yes, I think it will be, Rajeshwari, but I'm very sure that they will navigate themselves. See, we're getting a chance to test all of this today when you and I are there. So we'll have to do this together. And for most parents, I'm very sensitive to the fact that this is not something that it seems like, is this even possible? I mean, we haven't tried it, so we don't know if it is possible. And we need to try this. So we will go through that journey together. Forget that the children being anxious and difficult. You parents are going to make it really difficult for us because we're quite aware of all your anxieties. Did he eat? Did he brush? He eats 3 dosas. No, he does not eat idli. All those are very real questions. And I want you to go in with that. So I think that's going to be very important. And the standard program here is very simple for us. I keep telling all parents, no news is good news. If you haven't been summoned for anything, means everything's going on well. What I can tell you is it's a space which is filled with a lot of love. We're also okay to say we're learning together with you. We want to be a part of this with you. We want to be a part. We want you to allow us into the lives of your child and your caregiving that the child may require. Is there medical help? Yes, there is a doctor who would be available for us. And through this 26-day program, if the child or the adult has to be medicated with, say, fever and the common things, then you will be contacted, and there is a very clear medical administration protocol. All of these are governed by uh, very strict SOPs, which have been designed and followed and tested by us for the last 4 years. How do we maintain the skill develop? After 26 days, I'm going to tell you that, Srividya. Because what is the skill that's going to be developed also, we have to first gather, no, it will be different for your child. And we'll get there. We have to get there. Where is it held, group, how to register, all of those details. So right after this webinar, you're going to get one email which is going to give you details. One is the video you saw, the recording of this webinar, and the registration details. Yes, we'll put the registration details in that email as well for you. And then after about a week or so, we will be calling you. If you write in expressing your interest back to that email, then we know that we'll have to call you ahead of the other parents because we would like to reach out to each one of you. And if some of you feel that I do not want to be contacted, also you can let us know as an email. If the child manages one cohort, can he do the other? Of course he can, and we are encouraging you to do that. We're basically trying to say at the end of it, think about it like that. At the end of it, the child is going to be not certified, but why not? Trained in assisted living. And that's going to be very important for all of us to see. And we've seen this in our children. So it will work. Yes, so I think these are questions that are coming in. If something else comes in the next 10 minutes, we can take up those questions as well. Can the no, Preeti, can the parents stay close by and visit every day once? No, Preeti, we can't do that. You can stay close by and then we'll give you some duties, maybe in the kitchen or something else. We'll try and smuggle you. Anshu will reach out to you for the 4 day program because the 4 day program will be an ongoing. I think Yashaswini has written in there, which we will take care of, and you'll get to know all these costs and all of that. My invitation to you is the same. I do know that the finances for affording a program like this is a big one. 55,000 can seem huge, but I want you to think about it from a very step back, practical point of view to test this for us. And we are hoping that in genuine cases where this needs to be mobilized together, we will figure out solutions. There is enough in the world, not that we have it, but we can make sure that we're able to do this together. But let's try this because some of us are single parents. For some of us, there are other responsibilities. But this can happen only if you and I get into this with a lot of honesty and openness to make this working. Is psychological evaluation of the adult done as a part of the program? No. And I'm going to ask you, Jaya, we have to do psychological evaluation of the adults who are taking care also in that case. And trust me, oftentimes it's easier to work with the 10 adults in the cohort than the adults managing these adults. So I feel somewhere down the line, there are times when I say faculty can move to the side, let just one person handle it. So I think they will learn to handle each other. And this is a social world for your adult. They make their own friends. They've hung out. It's like when you do a base camp, Mount Everest base camp once and come. No? You yourself have taken yourself up a notch in terms of your own resilience and adaptability. Look at this like that. So now with more questions coming in there, I just want to make sure that I do this last piece for all of us together. Uh, as we come to the end of the session, I want to leave you with a thought. Inclusion is not just about acceptance, it's about action. It's creating a system where we all thrive together. So, dear parents who are present here today, this journey is deeply personal. This question is not just a worry, but a call for all of us to prepare. By stepping into this space now, we hope that together we can build a roadmap for you that takes care of your child's independence, even in your absence. And I'm hoping this program could give your child the tools to grow, adapt, thrive in a supporting environment. This is not about replacing you at all. This is about empowering your child and giving them the confidence that we can navigate through the world even in your absence. I invite you to take this step with us and to join a community of families who are asking the same questions and looking for meaningful solutions. We're going to find the solution together. And to caregivers, where you feel my child is still not ready for this, your anchors in this journey. Your role is invaluable in shaping the confidence. Programs like this are here to support you to see what should be the meaningful interventions. And to organization heads who are being present here, representative from organizations, your role in this is pivotal. Inclusion in workspace and community initiatives begins with collective action. I'm hoping that this offers a model that can be replicated in its own version, and you are valued contributors of this. In whatever way you feel we can turn and convert this into action, we await you with open arms. So, to each one of you, parents, caregivers, and organizations, we have the power to make this difference. What after me is not just a personal concern, it's a collective responsibility for each one of us. And just to bring the session to a closure, I'm going to tell you a myth of a banyan tree. I want to end with a story because, anyways, we're an arts based intervention organization. So, what better than ending this with a story? Connect to this myth wherever you are, in whichever stage of life that you are. It's the myth and the story of the banyan tree. The banyan tree is often called the tree of eternal life, symbolizing shelter, support, and independence. So the myth tells of a young sapling of a banyan tree that wished to grow strong and tall like the great banyan trees around it. But this little sapling feared the winds, the storm, the sun. So a wise elder banyan, noticing the sapling's hesitation, said, "Don't fear. Let your roots grow deep into the earth, and your branches will one day offer shade to the others. You will become a world unto yourself, a home for birds, animals, and for tired travelers. But remember, it is the strength of your roots and the network of your branches around you that is actually going to make you resilient. Years later, the sapling became a mighty banyan tree, spreading its roots and branches far and wide. It no longer feared the storms because it was grounded deeply and surrounded by others who shared their strength. This story for me is a little gift that I want to leave you with. This deeply resonates with the essence of Uhuru, a collective journey. Like the banyan tree, let each child who is a part of the program nurture deep roots of independence and dignity, and let's give them tools to stand resilient and create their own shelter, while also connecting to a community of people that offer strength and belonging. Parents, caregivers, organizations, educators, we are the branches that support the saplings in their growth. Together, we can create this network of interdependence where no one stands alone, even in the toughest time. So, leaving you with this story, I hope this reminds us that the roots we nurture today is going to support the future of our children and adults for generations to come, even when we are not around. Thank you for being a part of this journey, and I'm quite sure together we can create a world where everyone has an opportunity to grow and thrive. Thank you so much for your time. We have finished 7 minutes before time. I always take pride in saying we finish on time. But should you feel that there's something you want to share, if there's something you want to add on, please unmute yourself and speak.
Ma'am, you said the 26-day program is starting from April.
Yes.
4 days and 1 day also after April only, or we can do
No,
it?
no, you can do it now. The idea of doing this in Jan is before you pick your cohort, if you want to come and do some of it now, you can write to us back in that email. We give you one of us in the team and schedule the visits. These visits are happening.
Oh,
Sorry?
Hello.
So, ma'am, are you working on weekends as well? I mean, we can do this visit over a Saturday, or does it
See,
have
if
to?
you come, if you want to come and see the program, no, if you want to come with the adult to stay, then it is Monday to Thursday. But if you just want to come and see the campus and you just want to meet us, then you can let us know and take an appointment on the Friday, Saturday, Sundays, one of the Friday and Saturday, and we could always schedule a meeting. But we encourage you to make it during Monday to Thursday so you can also see a working model.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you to the comments that
Yeah,
are
thank
coming.
you, Gitanjali ma'am. This is Viji.
Yes, hi,
Hi,
Vijay.
really nice to hear you talk about Uhuru. I did contact Snehadara 3 years back, and logistically, as we are in Sarjapur, it was hard for us to, I mean, like from both Snehadara's end and our thing, it
Yeah.
was not working out. The week program of 4 days wasn't working out for from both Snehadara and our side, it wasn't working out. But initially, when we moved from Bangkok, we did look at Snehadara, and so now, as it's a long-term 26 days, probably, with all the information that we've got today, we would look into it and, see how that works. Because, it's like almost a 1 month program, right?
Yes, yes, Vijay. And even for Sarjapur, I remember the conversations. I think for us to try this logistically to travel anywhere in Bangalore now is difficult. But if
Yeah,
you're able to look at a way in which you're dropping on a Monday and picking up on a Thursday or doing a Monday and coming on a Wednesday, staying with the adult Wednesday, Thursday, we can work out. You'd run that one 4 week program and then, 4 day
okay.
program, and then you could take it up as well.
All right. Okay. So I'll get back to you on that. Yeah.
Sure, Sure. Do get back to the team. Yes.
Where
Thank
is this
you.
place situated, ma'am?
It is in Nelamangla. So from the center of the city, I think we're about 40 kilometers. I'm very bad at geography, but I think, yeah, it's in Nelamangla.
Okay, is it in a residential area or outside skirts?
It is in a community called the Clifton Park. So within that, there are a lot of independent spaces and open plots. So two of it is where it is built. So if you just go to the website, Aruna, you'll be able to also get a glimpse of how the campus looks and all that.
Oh,
So can you spell the place, please? Clifton?
Clifton Park. No, if you go to the Snehadara website,
Okay.
you will get the contact, you'll get the
Okay.
address, you'll get to see
Yeah.
all of that.
That.
Yeah. Yeah. The details will also be there. Yes, on the chat window, maybe just copy paste this so that they know where
Uh-huh.
to go to as well.
Yeah.
I don't have a question. I just wanted to ask you how, who is this? I don't have a question. I just wanted to ask you how and why and when you decided to develop these programs. Like, was this a direction that you always wanted to? Was there a specific inspiration or motivating moment for you? Oh, this is such a heavy question to close the seminar, but yes, thank you for that question. It just seemingly looked the rightful next step because I think every step was the next step in that direction. And when we heard journeys of parents, looked at what it is, I think it only seemed that it would be disservice if we haven't prepared our loved ones for a life when we're not around. I think it stemmed from that. And to say that there is some certainty with which we're leading our lives. I don't mean to sound very low about it, but it's true. So let's just be sure that this adult will be understood by others. Let's just be sure. And I think I read somewhere saying parenting, the definition of parenting is a slow process of letting go. So I think that was the inspiration, that was the direction. And I want to prove parents, I'm on this almost mission to prove parents wrong. You know, it sounds really bad now. Even if you're considering admission, you'll say, I don't have to do it. But I think somewhere down the line, we've based the potential of our children based on what we've heard, what we've seen, which is all true. But somewhere down the line, we haven't really jumped off that, taken that joyful leap to say they'll manage. So I want to tell parents that no, they can manage way, way better than we think they can manage. And I don't want it to be like the Indian cricket team where we perform best only under stress. No, we'll all perform. When given a choice, life does give us resilience. We'll all adapt. But I think it's important to have these conversations. It's important to do something about it. It's important for you to know, wow, even without me, this adult is going to be able to manage. And I think that's important for us. And as a culture, as a society, we don't talk about what after me. We don't talk about situations or life after death and things like that because we're culturally, it is like that. But this doesn't mean anything. This only means preparing ourselves for this. And yes, for many of you, uh, the age group of 15 plus is an age group that we put in, keeping in mind that this may be an immediate need for adults, for families with children who are 15 plus. But there have been children who are much younger who have stayed through our overnighter programs and camps as well. So, suppose you're considering it and saying, I want to do this for my young adult, I would say just look at it. And on another note, this is off the record. If you feel, I just want a 4 day break from my child and I want to go for a holiday to Mysore, reach out to us. It's okay. I think the best gift as parents you can give the child is to take care of yourself. And we feel it can even be something like that. And it's going to be a win win because, as an outcome of your holiday or getaway, would be how this child or adult has managed. So it comes from that motivation. It comes from saying, if we are, some of us are um, not a parent of a child today with needs, there is a responsibility for parents to pay back and pay forward to those parents who are going through issues which are very different from us. So this entire program, Snehadara, emerges from that philosophy, and that is really the ethos. I keep saying this, you can't waste a lifetime taking care of one husband and two children. And I continue to say that there is a lifetime for us to pay it forward. And no parent is alone in this journey. None of us have done a certification or a BA, MA in parenting or marriage. Full tukka bazi, some of us have landed where we are. So let's do one more and let's do this together. So lots of love. Very happy that you all stayed by this long. For all of you who attended, we await you with open arms, open hearts, and let's do this together and let's get this going for all of us. Do await our email and don't hang up on us when we call you. And have a wonderful, wonderful year ahead. May every day of the year be a new year for us with new learnings, new people to love, newer people to hate, newer people to get angry with, but we'll crack it, I think. Let that be. Finally, it's the experiment of life, and please take home that little banyan sapling with you. Lots of love, and see you all
Thank
soon.
you. Thank
Thank
you
you so
so
much.
much. Good luck for
Thank you.
Uhuru.
Yes,
Thank
we will see you soon. Good luck. Bye-bye. Bye.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you very much. Do await our